Boom. Welcome back. It is the TNEC cast. Your man Shuff with the boy Weapon K. And like I always say, we are the TNEC cast. Episode Ferrari F50. What up, 50 Cent? We were really just joking about that. Man, so we made it to the big 5-0. I think what's that, the gold anniversary, the silver hair, whatever that is.
Something
So,
like that.
yes, we here. Like always, like, comment, subscribe. Real fast before I toss it to K, both of us, especially more K, he'll probably touch on it a little bit. We getting a lot of great feedback about, episode 49 and kind of the new direction, new kind of series that we're putting onto the TNEC cast. So thank you everybody for the feedback, whether it be comments or reaching out to us directly. We're going to, Kay's about to tell you, we're going to keep that going. So like I said, this is for y'all. We listening to what y'all want, and we're going to continue to, to give you what you want. So Kay, how you feeling?
I'm chilling, my brother. I'm chilling. Once again, thank you guys for the response that you guys gave us for episode 49. Because you can see the passion whenever we talk about this. Because I truly, and same thing with Isaac, we love helping people. I'm just not the coach per se right now, but I do have a knowledge that I do like to share with other people if they seek it. But one day, maybe, possibly, So this episode is going to be talking about why you should or why you shouldn't logbook. I'm a firm believer in logbooking. I haven't for the majority of my lifting career. But now that I do logbook, I can see so much more progress with progressive overload, tracking my lifts, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So, Isaac, do you have your clients logbook or not? Do you have some that do, some that don't? And why should or shouldn't they, in some cases, logbook?
Cool. So definitely yes. If you, whether it's a lifestyle or competition, if you're in the gym, you're logbooking, and you brought up, they're tracking through the app. So when we say logbook, don't take it and think, well, I'm writing it. I'm not writing it down. I'm in an app because there's several apps and everything like that. Same damn thing. Basically, we're talking about tracking what you are doing. So everybody, if you're under me and you're in the gym, you're tracking what you are doing. And the reason why. There's so many reasons why. Really, so I'm trying to keep myself, contained. But at the end of the day, right? So, something that should be common in all workout programs is progressive overload. Some way, shape, or form, there should be some kind of progressive overload in there. Obviously, that just means your workouts over time are getting harder. I'm just going to break it down in a very easy, way to say it. So, but how do we know? So, from the coaching standpoint, I'll use Sarita. She's an easy example. So, so I'm looking at, Sarita's workouts, right? So obviously if she's in the off season or in the growth season, I want to see those weights moving up that she's using, because that is a good indicator of strength. Mm-hmm. Now, just because the weight doesn't move up, that doesn't mean she's not necessarily getting stronger. She just may not be trying to push it. So that's where, as the coach, I'm able to go in and say, hey, you've been doing these 50s for 4 weeks now. Why don't you try to move up to the 55s? It's things like that. So it helps us as coaches to know when we can turn that dial, when we give you that that instruction to do something, or same thing, to pull back. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the times I'll have somebody doing the log, I'm seeing the weights that they're using, and I'm just being real. I just know, I'm like, there's no way that this person is doing that weight with good form. And I'll probably say 99% of the time I'm correct. So now this is from a coaching standpoint, I'm able to reach out, say, hey, send me in. Oh God. So whoever athletes, if you listen to this, now I'm giving you a little secret of what I do. If I ask you for a specific exercise, it's because something that I'm noticing. Mm. I won't tell you why. I say, hey, send me a video of you doing this move. Or I'll send you, hey, send me a couple videos from that day. Mm. You see what I mean? So I was trying to get an idea. Now, if I just ask for random ones, like literally is, hey, when you get a chance to send me some workout, I'll see where you are. So the whole thing is that all goes back to why you need to log, because it's actually a foundational piece, especially, as a bodybuilder. We really need to understand what we're doing, where we were this time last year, this time 3 years ago. It's because at the end of the day, barring you're coming back from any injuries or anything like that, you should be stronger than you were 3 years ago. Or I shouldn't necessarily say stronger, better. How are we, and so you're able to, take that information, Kyrie mentioned, law book, so you can go back, whether you have a book from 2020 or you go back in your app, whatever it is, you should be able to go back and look and say, oh, okay, I'm better at this now. I'm going to give you another one. Since, we're kind of directing this a little bit more towards bodybuilding, even with your posing, it shouldn't just be, you're logging it, you're tracking it. You take a video. Now, look, I'm not saying look, I know some of you do take a video damn near every day. I'm not saying you need to do that. But you take these videos because I'm telling you, and I know you guys have seen me doing it on social media. I don't know if Kay's done it from a posing standpoint, but I've done it where I posted my posing from 2019 or early 2020 to now, and it don't look like a few year difference. It looks like a 5 or 10 year difference. So that's why it's important, because at the end of the day, if you're not noticing yourself improving, that you got to change something. So that's what's important about, why, especially from the coaching standpoint, why we have you log things so we can understand what's going on. So if you're not really making progress in the gym, but let's just say your nutrition's been on point, right? But we're not seeing those like true physical changes, like the scales moving down, certain things, but we're not seeing that muscle development that we want. This is where the gym is important. This is where understanding what you are or are not doing. That was not correct, but whatever. I'm not going to go back and fix it. I was trying to think that I was saying it. But we're looking at those things, and that's why we need that. Because, at the end of the day, if I say, hey, client, show me what you've been doing the last 3 weeks, and there's nothing to show for it, well, how can I correct? I can't correct what I don't know. I can't coach to what I don't know. So okay, from the athlete standpoint, like, talk to us about some of the things that you glean from what you log. Like, what are some of the things that you've noticed, trends, or just anything that you've been able to like take from it to illustrate this point that we're going over?
Recovery. That's the big point, right? Sometimes a lot of athletes have to be pulled back and being like, okay, you're just digging yourself into a hole, right? You're digging yourself into a hole. How? How's your sleep? Your sleep optimized? How's your nutrition? You're adhering to your nutrition guidelines, whatever. Okay, let's look at the training. Why are you doing 5 sets of 20 on everything, brother? Going to failure on everything. Let's dial that back. You know what I mean? So that's one big driver for me. Do I need to be kind of kept on a leash and be like, yo, you're going to calm down on the drop sets, Coop? You know what I mean? You're eating nothing. Your recovery's hindered. You're digging yourself into a hole. So that's the biggest thing with me in a logbook. I had this philosophy before, and this is why it's very important to be a student to the game forever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much weight that is on the bar, as long as the last rep is nasty. As long as those last few reps are just grinders, you have to fight for them, stuff like that. It's just like, yes, however, to ensure, one, too much data, there's no such thing as too much data going in bodybuilding, right? Yes, you can pose how long you held that pose for. So let's say last week I did my posing routine or went through my mandatories. I held one for every 3 seconds. Next I have to do 4, 5, 6, 7, show day. I'm doing it for 15 seconds, not even breaking a sweat. So that's good data. So I can show that to Kyle and he'd be like, hell yeah, bro, keep it going. Same thing with my my logbooking. Also, I think I didn't even finish that. I don't know. I'm all over the place today. Sorry. I have notes too, but you touched on so many good ones. My mentality whenever I'm approaching my logbook is, are you going to get better today or are you not?
Ooh.
So when was this? When did I go to the gym? Yesterday? Yes, yesterday was push day. And I was not feeling it. Not feeling it. I had 1 meal in my system. I went a little earlier and I looked at 275 on incline Smith press and I was like, looked at my training partner and I was like, I don't know. I was like, I have to get this for 9. Like, I'm not sure, right? But then again, you got to sit there and you have to ask yourself that question. Am I going to be a beast or a bitch? That's it. Am I going to conquer this weight or not?
Mm-hmm.
And those like that rest time, rather than hopping on your phone and getting on social media, looking at TikToks and whatever, look at the weight. Am I going to progress on this set or not? Don't worry about the next one. This set right here. So that's my mentality whenever I'm approaching, and it's like a challenge as well. It's a challenge, especially in prep whenever the food's low. Then it's just like, and like the likelihood of you hitting a PR is very low. But you're gonna be like, you know what? Hella high water. I'm going to figure out a way. And obviously safely, managing fatigue and all that. But most importantly, it's more important to figure out what to track. And in my opinion, something is better than nothing, right? Mm-hmm. If I have a client and they can only adhere to the program 3 days out the week, fine, it's better than 2. You see what I'm saying? So if you can just be like, okay, my compounds, I'll just track my compounds. It's like, cool. The accessory work, whatever, the rest of it, you don't have to track it, whatever. If that can keep you going and keep you adhering to the program and keep you sane in the gym and not be like, oh, it's an obligation for me to carry around a notebook or my phone, to constantly be on my phone and distractions, then go for it. However, I would definitely advise for you to track everything. 100%. Right? The one thing is just like you get extra credit if you want to is rest times and how long the set has taken you to complete. So what do you in the app, the No Excuse Crew app, what are they obligated to track?
So you technically can't, so I'll put the rest times in there. Mm-hmm. And honestly, to me, that's more of a minimum than anything else, because you'd be surprised how many people rush to do their next set. Like they finish, okay, and they go right back in. I'm like, no. You got to give your body a chance to get ready so you can perform optimally. Now, no offense, power lifters, I'm not talking about a 5-minute rest, but I always typically say 45 minutes. I mean, 45 seconds to a minute and a half is usually a good rest time between sets, depending on what you're doing, your goals and everything like that. Now, again, listen to your coaches. If your coach has something different for whatever reason, there's a lot of different philosophies, but that's usually, a good rest time. So here's the thing with an app, because obviously we're not the only ones with an app and all that kind of stuff. Your workout is laid out for you. So you have no reason not to track what you're doing. So I say that to say, so Kyrie said, he's like, oh, so what would what should you track? How should you track? So the what is the exercise, track them all. There's no, if you're in there's no reason to not track them all. It's a push day. You're not going to just do overhead, just track your overhead press to your bench press. If that is what's important to you or whatever, and like Kyrie did bring up a good point, if that's what's going to keep you accountable and everything like that, okay, so be it. But you're leaving a lot of meat on the bone to get better. So you really do want to track everything. And like I said, to take that one step further, your workout should be already planned out. So when I say planned out, you should know what 5, 6, however many, whatever exercises you're doing. You know what I mean? You should already know how many sets, how many reps of the sets. Sometimes it may be, you're doing 8 to 12, 12 to 15, whatever, but you should know all these things before you go in, because that's going to help you with weight selection. For example, what did you do last week on each of those exercises? Or just forget, what did you do last time on that exercise? Mm-hmm. What if you accidentally pick up the lower weight versus the higher weight or versus the same weight? So instead of progressively overloading, you're accidentally going backwards. You may feel, oh, this is light, you may recognize it. So back to the app, those are all the things that we're tracking. So we're tracking your weight. So then this way you can click on that exercise. You can look back at the history. And I'm talking about, I've went back and looked at stuff from 2018 that I've done on certain exercises. That's how far back it goes. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, track everything. That's really what it is. Because what we're asking you to do in the app. So in this way, for example, you got a body part that you're not happy with. We can look at what you're doing on those days that attack those body parts. And we can look at it. If you're working out on your own and you're writing it down, number one, whether you do it in your phone, you write it down, however, write down your workout. So when you go in there, you have a plan. That's one of the important reasons why. Don't just say, "Oh, I know I'm going to do." It's very easy to get sidetracked. Very easy to get sidetracked. So you write down, you know what you're going to do, and then then this way, whether it's an app or a book, whatever it is, you can flip the page or pages to go back to what you did on that. Even if you have different sections, however you organize it, you have a bench press. So you say you don't go in with a plan, but okay, I have every time I do the bench press, I know I can go here so I can see what I've done the last couple of 3 times. Oh man, I've been doing, 225 for 10 for the last 3 weeks. It's time to try to move up. But those are the things that we were having you lost. So let me be a little bit more specific. I kept jumping away from the specific part. Reps, sets, weight. Those are the 3 things. Now, if you want to get a little more granular and you want to start to really separate yourself from the crowd, effort, fatigue level, you start tracking those things. You start taking little notes about how certain things felt. That puts you at a different level. And while those notes are good for your coach, those notes are even better for you. Because I shouldn't say unfortunately, you never know how long you'll be with your coach. Some people are with the same coach forever. Some people, change coaches like they change their clothes, but they still at least have that data to understand, okay, my shoulder was hurting every time I get to 185 on the bench, my shoulder hurts a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, okay, heavy days we may have to go do it a different way. So you have all that, but those are the kind of things that you want to track and take. When I say detailed notes, you don't need to be there, freaking Charles Hemingway, Ernest Hemingway and, writing full blown stuff, but write notes that you'll understand, write notes that you can, if your coach can't understand it, at least something that you can translate. So it gives you a great talking point, because something that I've, recently done, I've revamped how people check in. And that's one of the things that we ask about: effort, intensity, how you felt. And we're not talking about, oh, well, I was upset because the sun wasn't out. No, we're talking about, all right, yeah, I started feeling really good during this workout, but I fatigued faster than normal. That gives us stuff we can look at. Well, how many meals did you have today? We only had 2 versus 3 before I worked out. See how every time I hop off of that line, it shows how important logging is, because this is how we figure things out. You're skipping a huge step in the process if we don't know. Because if you're just, go ahead. Okay,
Joe Bennett actually said this. I quote Joe Bennett all the time. Listen, the logbook isn't for what happens inside the gym. It is pretty much if you're checking off all the boxes outside the gym. So if your rest and recovery is spot on, your food is right, like 100 out of 100, and your sleep is 100 out of 100, everything in the gym should go up. If not, one of those are wrong. It's just like that simple.
Hey, clip that.
You see it on Instagram, dog.
But no, that's real, and that's why, like, when we come around, because so I'm gonna tell y'all a very short, but I guess when I was like in my early 20s, I tried the law book a little bit, but I thought I was too worried about being Mr. Cool Guy. This is why I was 210, 220, just like this, because I could be in the gym 3 hours, eat what I wanted and all this. Oh, I was just like, you know what I mean? And so I was like, man, I don't need no law book, man. I'm just raw this, da 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 da. And I used to look at people that had the law books crazy. Like, man, look at this cornball. What is he doing? Da 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 da. Did not realize that they were ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. They were ahead of the game. They had all the data. Because look, even if they weren't making progress and they tried it for a year or two and they got stuck, guess what? How much data they have to hand to a coach?
Yeah.
Here's a year. Here's 2 years worth of what I was doing. Mm-hmm. Like, what I mean? It really gets to, it really digs into that, to the nitty gritty. But this is why it's so important, because that book, you are your book. If you're not getting results and you don't have a log book, we're missing a huge building block on how we're going to get you back on track. Because remember, if you're not because look, chances are, if you're not really tracking your workouts, are you really tracking your nutrition?
I was just thinking that. It's like trying to lose weight without something, a food diary, something.
Something. You know what I mean? Because now I'm like, are you really weighing your food? Or are you just looking at the weight, the measurements that we put on there, You saying, this looks about right.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you still do it. I tell it's in the freaking guide that says get a damn food scale, but people still will, just say, oh, Jesus take the wheel. This looks about right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it can either create a chain reaction the right way or the wrong way, and it's up to you. But point blank, period. Like it's up to me, it's up to Kay. We make our decisions. So if James hit me up, Isaac, what did you have to eat today? I can just pull it up because I log it, bam. So this is what I've had so far. What did you do in your workout? Bam, pull up. This is what I've done so far. You should be able to do that. This is why I talk to him more as a friend than a coach, because I already have everything. I've done it all. When I say done it all, the plan and everything like that. Same with with a lot of people that are, when you're on point, the conversations are much different. We just kind of talk, okay, it's time to make a change, this, that, and the third. But it's such a critical building block. I'm trying to tell y'all want to get somewhere. If you don't have any data, how can we fix it? Because then we got to start you from square one, which you may not necessarily need to be started from square one. You got to start from square one. Because now if I know you're not logging this, I know you're not logging that, and it's just, I've been doing this for too long. I know if you're not tracking or you're not doing this, I know the other things that you aren't doing. You all got that same thing in common. At Lazy Gene, I'm gonna be real. Because everybody, the one thing that everybody wants to attack, is the gym. Nobody wants to attack the nutrition like that. Nobody wants to attack the logging, the tracking. Nobody wants to do that. But you see these top people, you see these people that are outperforming you. I'm not saying that they all are, but most of them are attacking all those things with the same ferocity that they're attacking the gym. Stop thinking when you see bodybuilders or you see people in great shape that all they are doing is working out hard. That is not it. And you gotta take the logging of your workouts serious. And look, we're not expecting you to know exactly what the heck you're doing right on day one, outside just writing down what you did. At the end of the day, that's all it is. Write down what you did. Then write down how you felt about it. So I know, so you're sitting there, you do 3 sets of 225 10 times. So you write down how you felt right after it, or you type it in, I felt the same every single time. To me, that tells me, you probably need to move up a little bit, because if it's just feeling the same, you're used to it. We need to make a change. You're getting stronger, so now let's move up, or you same scenario, you say, okay, the first set feels pretty good. That second set, reps 8 and 9 were a little ugly, but 10, I got it back together because I was pissed off. Last set at 5, a guy had to come over and help me. I still got to 10, but he had to come over and spot me. Now, as the coach, I say, all right, well, look, this is what I want you to do. Instead of doing 3 sets of 225, I want you to build a 225. Let's do 185, 205, then 225. But we need that log booking to be able to make those adjustments. So it's gonna sound like a weird question, but how do you attack your logging? Like what kind of, what's your mindset? Like, what are you trying to I want to say, what are you trying to accomplish? But like, what do you like when you logging? Like, okay, what's your mindset? What do you log? What do you get down so that you can give to Kyle, and everything like that?
Just reps, sets, weight. That's it. Rest times, I have a different philosophy on rest times. It's just like whenever. So it's like a rough estimate, right? So like, let's say on a hack squat, like I'm about to go hit legs today. I will wait. My rest time will be until I'm like feeling good enough to perform at a high level for another set. So if that's 2 minutes or 3 minutes, is usually no longer than 3 minutes. Like 3 minutes, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I'm done waiting. But everything is standardized. And here's one con for logging your workouts. You think that number is the end-all, be-all. Yeah. Therefore, you have to get 10 with 225. That 10th rep, you probably going to cheat a little bit. And you're like, got 10. Bing. not everything is standardized. Not this. So you have to keep the same tempo with every single rep. Obviously, once you get to the effective reps, this tempo start to slow, but the negative is pretty much the same, right? But however, it's just like once you realize like, okay, everything is structured, everything's the same exact thing. I'm still having the internal stimulus and the external stimulus is still being tracked. I can still contract the muscle. Everything feels fine. That's when you can be effective in the logbook. However, if you're just saying, I just have to move weight to point A to point B, you're missing the meat and potatoes of the logbook. Mm-hmm. You have just a slight jaded view of it. But focus mainly on form. And this is where it's just like, where do you focus on building format in your fitness journey? And it's at the very beginning. As soon as don't even worry about the weight. Don't worry about it. Just focus on the execution, because that's going to keep you, that form is going to keep you in the gym for that's your longevity right there. Because if you don't learn how to deadlift, you're going to be out year 5 with 2 dislocated discs. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a bad training scar. But if everything is standardized, now you just have to say, am I going to get 1% better today or not? Some days you aren't, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I think last time I PR'd on, let's just say like 8 out of the 14 sets I did that day, and that's a win, right? And also, this is also a win. So whenever I had clients, I used variables, let's say, to measure progress, right? So let's say their strength, how they feel, the scale. If we can win 2 out of the 3, that's a win for the week, dog. Did I learn that from you? Where did I get that from? I did? Yeah. Because like, I was just like, because that's a good one. Because like, you judge the scale, you judge your logbook. So I didn't make progress this week. It's like, bro, you're like, yo, you're what, 2 weeks out from your competition? It's like, dog, chill. Like, you ain't gonna be pushing 500 pounds, G, unless you Ronnie.
Yeah.
Right? But I use the app called Strong. Shameless plug. I love them. Or you can use your notes on your iPhone or your little Android. You know, just like, okay, what did I do? The only thing with the notes is that you really can't go back.
Yeah, boy.
That's it.
Yeah,
you get last time. If you get last time, it's like it gets the job done, but there's more efficient ways to do that.
So, oh my God, you had touched on something that I wanted to say, and I cannot remember now because I wanted, like, because he was flowing. I don't want to jump in, but hopefully as I get going on this, it'll come back to me. But oh, I know what it was. Bam, thank you. So so when you see on there 3 sets of 10, you know, Kay was saying, so you see that, so you kind of get stuck there. Don't get stuck there. This is where learning how to effectively logbook will help you. So you know that 10 is kind of like, okay. So for example, I'll put a note in there. I'll tell somebody like, hey, if you're consistently hitting 12 reps, that means you need to move up at that weight. You need to move up in weight. Things like that. Those notes, that's why you talk about how you feel, because now if you're stuck on the number, you at least know, okay, well, I need to do 10 reps. I did 40 pounds and I did it way too easy. Let me do 45. So that's the thing you have to. And now again, it's important because you can't assume that everybody knows that, because some people are just programmed like true robots. And there's a good and a bad from that. Take this, do this. They take it, they do it. They don't necessarily know, they're not being taught the little nuances of the game to know when to possibly change weight, more sets, more reps, whatever, you know what I mean? Because while your coach is doing your programming, all different levels, there are people that I do every single thing for, to just give them the splits, everything in between. So with that, it's important to understand, like, if you have a coach or whatever, ask them, when do I know to move up in weight? When do I, if the note isn't in there for you, and shit, that might be one of the most important things we say here, because you have to understand that. Because Kay brings up, it's a fantastic point. There are too many people that inadvertently hinder themselves because they're too rigid. They're like, it's this. Coach said 3 sets of 40. And then you're just doing it. It's too easy. You're not even feeling anything. You just go like this at that point. You know, you need to understand, oh, okay, so when coach says it gets too easy or this, that, and the third, then ask, well, coach, what do you mean by too easy? I'm telling you, you start asking your coaches questions, especially if you have a good coach. When I tell you their eyes are going to go, when I get stuff like that, whether we're talking like this, I'm like, I get so excited. I mean, I literally get excited. Now we're talking. Now you're doing stuff. And that's why log booking is important. And that's why it's effective. So learn how to effectively log book. So if you haven't, no matter where you are in your journey, your career, whatever, if you haven't done it, start it. Don't try to become the foremost expert on log booking today, especially if you've never done it before. Just write down what the heck you did today in the gym. Just do that. That's the challenge. You're looking at this, whether it's cardio, you're doing cardio tomorrow. Well, I say tomorrow morning because we posted the next day. You're doing your cardio, and then you look. You know what I'm saying? You say, oh, okay, you look, I'm gonna do my workout. Log it. And guess what? If you need help, you somebody's watching this, reach out. That's what we do this for. Reach out. We can kind of tell you the things to look for. Let me say this: if you have a coach, don't reach out to me. You can still reach out to Kyrie, because Kyrie is technically not a coach right now.
Yeah, I got
Don't reach out to me. Don't reach out to me.
I got free game.
Yeah, we can't do all that. And I say that because I do not want to undermine another coach. They may have a whole whatever, and I'm not trying to do that, and I never will do that. But if you don't have a coach, holler at me. And this isn't no ploy to say come be a client or anything like that. What I'm saying is we want to help. That's the long and the short of it. We want to help. So if you're struggling with it, and my biggest, just start. Just write it down.
Write something down.
Yeah, don't feel like you need to have, a big long dissertation that's going to get graded and going to be posted for everybody to see. Just get enough down. Just get enough down.
But yeah, you got anything else for the people?
We got a lot of new things coming up, man. We'll drop it more in one of these at the beginning of one of these episodes. But some of you may have seen it. Some changes to TNEC on demand. Show counts at 87. Forgot to say that.
Put it up, dog.
Oh, beautiful. We're right at that preface of the next jump in numbers because we're 12 weeks out. So yay! That's it for me, man. I'm loving these conversations that we're having. So I'll continue to give us the feedback. That's all I got.
Yeah, let us know if you want a topic that you want us to talk about in the comment section below. I think next week we can talk about. I don't know. Oh man, just give me like 10 minutes and I'll let you know what we're going to be talking about next week, dog. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, guys. Peace.